Hey, this is Digital Dave with another cryptocurrency and blockchain update. Today, I have three very special guests with DigiCorp Labs. I have Josua, I have Wynan, and Rudy, all with DigiCorp Labs. And gentlemen, welcome to the call.
Welcome, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you for taking the time to talk about DigiCorp Labs. I saw, the announcement a few months ago on Twitter about DigiCorp Labs. I'm like, what exactly are you guys up to? And, this is why I wanted to get you guys on the call, because I want to figure out what exactly are you guys doing? I know you're going to be involved with the Metaverse, and that's the big buzzword right now. But can you tell me and tell the audience what exactly is DigiCorp Labs?
DigiCorp Labs is a corporation that is promoting the gap between the enterprise world and Digibyte technology. That's what we're doing. We're promoting Digibyte technology. And why we're doing that, we think Digibyte is made for the Metaverse. We think that the Metaverse should be decentralized. The Metaverse could only be decentralized. We all think, a lot of people saying we're creating a Metaverse. That is not actually the case. I think the Metaverse is a space of time of the internet, what we're now compelling. The Metaverse is actually the internet built by gamers. So we have more like a gaming experience of the Metaverse. That's why gaming and NFT is that hot. But it will also go in other experience, in business, enterprise, but also consumers. It's our belief that in the future, you cannot see the difference from a digital life and the real life. They will go hand in hand. So it's very important that you solve an identity and you own and control your data. That's all it's all about. It's also about building actually the Digi-Metaverse layer, the new internet. So it's more decentralized, not as it is at the moment. So that's what it does. And we have created three entities. And that makes it a little bit confusing for some people, but we think in the end it will create focus. And the focus is that Digi3 is a collaboration of Threefold Tech and DigiCorp Labs that will provide solutions to the enterprises. We already have 5 working solutions to go, and they will be launched at Q1, Q2, 2022. And we have Digi Life, and the word says it all. It's your digital life. And what there is important that you can own your data and control your data. And we think what's more important, your sovereign identity in the Metaverse. And then we have Digi Academy and DigiWare, where Rudy can tell something about, and that's more, the DigiWare is the engine room where we develop our own IP. And Digi Academy is for the developers and the community. So we think we should also give something back, and education is quite important in that case, Dave.
Okay, all right, that sounds great. Wynan, Rudy, you want to add to this?
I think it was a great summary, what Joshua mentioned. It's important for us to understand that the internet today is even not suitable for our online experience we're having today because of the data breaches and all the privacy concerns. So let alone that it's suitable for the online experience that we're facing, what's coming, the Metaverse. So it's very important to have an underlying foundational layer that ensures a secure and private entrance and presence in the Metaverse, where your data is decentralized, quantum safe, and where we have peer-to-peer communications. So that's what we're doing. We're building this technology and the solutions on top of that. And of course, blockchain secured. And Digibyte, we all know, is one of the best blockchains out there. So it's a no-brainer. And also because we have the roots in Digibyte, that Digibyte will be the blockchain that will have the added security to the Threefold grid.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Let me ask you though, talking about security, how exactly will Digibyte or DigiCorp, how will it actually add security to? Let's say, the big hype now is the Sandbox Metaverse. I mean, there's a bunch of them, right? We've got Sandbox, we've got Decentraland and others. How will Digibyte technology secure that? Let's just say another Metaverse.
Well, let me start by saying that there are no different metaverses. It's just one metaverse. See it as a universe, and we see the different projects as galaxies, like Decentraland, Facebook. There are centralized solutions. What we are doing is we are building a decentralized infrastructure. On top of that, we have decentralized solutions for consumers, but also for enterprises. And Digibyte is the the added security. That means with DigiID technology, we can have a secure authentication into these solutions. And also the Wijnand can add to that, the Digibyte blockchain will be used for fingerprinting. So as an audit, to create an audit trail, which might be very helpful for corporations. So Wijnand, maybe you can, from a technical perspective, maybe you can add something to that.
I think, as Rudy said, the metaverse is something that's happening, as being built by many people, and will, in the end, be driven by many people. And what we at DigiCorp Labs and Digi3 disagree with is that a part of it is built on centralized infrastructure, to say. And infrastructure I refer to as generation of compute and storage capabilities. And for most of what is happening today, that is still happening on traditional cloud, whatever you want to call it, centralized data center-based solutions. And again, they have done what they do. I'm not trying to make them look bad here, but they have done it in such a way that there's always a third party involved, and in the end, overlooking and having access to parts of it, because they've got engineers running around those facilities and doing it. And that is not really in line with what the whole decentralization effort is with blockchain projects. Mm-hmm. Digibyte being a very prime example of that. So already a while ago, Threefold, and again, this is the come together of two major technology streams into one push forward, has started to undo that centralized component, which is the nitty-gritty, very low-level infrastructure play. And again, AWS, Google, all of those big guys have done really, really well, and we're using it, right? Because we're using a centralized video conferencing solution to do what we do, which is great. Mm-hmm. But in the end, there's always a third party in the middle. And what we have spent a large amount of years on is to make the internet work again, almost like solar panels do for electricity. So decentralized, distributed capacity generation. Everyone can own a piece of hardware or many pieces of hardware. Mm-hmm. And with a software stack that enables that hardware to be exposed on a grid, that's what we call it, you will be able to generate capacity everywhere. And then you step away from what I think is the biggest problem with the internet today, that you have this content creation or experience creation in these centralized facilities, and everybody is enjoying them over a very long line. And the line is getting longer and the line is getting fatter in terms of servicing all of that. We want to undo that, and Digi3 is taking steps to undo that, so that everybody can start creating capacity locally, in their home, in their barn, in their school, in their city hall, wherever there is network and electricity, to start building fundamental capacity towards this metaverse, because we need it. This model where we are at a long line connecting back to the data center is just not going to scale to where we need to go. Mm-hmm. And that is, I think, where today DigiCorp Labs and Digi3 are very fundamentally taking a different tack on actually building a part of that metaverse and delivering services in that metaverse.
Okay, that's interesting because I'm learning here too, and I'll admit it, and that's why we're all here. We're all learning every day in this space. So the way you say that, so the metaverse is actually, obviously represents the universe in the digital field, right? And you're saying, so like Sandbox and these other Decentraland, these other metaverses are not really the metaverses. There's a part of the metaverse, though, like you said, the galaxy.
They are a galaxy, because what we have to understand, nobody can build a metaverse. We're all co-creators. Everyone who goes onto the web is building the metaverse. That's why if you go to our website, we have the goddess, and she's a co-creator. And we are all co-creators of this metaverse. There are galaxies where you can interact and have an experience with. And what we are saying is, if you go into those galaxies, do it in a safe and secure way, so you can always control your data and own your data. And especially, what I think is the most precious thing to have, it's just like the soul in real life, it's your sovereign identity. Your avatar has a sovereign identity. And that is always you. And you decide who you want to show that and who you want to show. I can be a butterfly, Dave. And you can be like a Theta warrior or something else, or we meet each other. And eventually you say, who are you really? And I will say, hey, I will show my sovereign identity. I'm Joshua. And you said, I'm Dave. And then you see that you're genuinely the right person. You're not someone else exposing to that. And this is very crucial. And everywhere you go in the metaverse, you leave a digital trail. And I think that's the name of the game. It's where you spend your time and where you spend your data. Because your real asset is the time and the trail you do with the data. So people collect that data to harvest that from that. We all know that Facebook is doing that. Mm-hmm. If something is free, you are always the product.
Yeah, you're paying the price big time if it's free.
Yeah, you pay actually the ultimate price. Free, and I say freedom is not free. And you as an American should know that as one of the best. Freedom is the most expensive commodity out there. Mm-hmm. And except there is something more special, that's your time. So we think, if you look at our roadmap, we have envisioned that you have, in the future, we think you have your own data lake. And with artificial intelligence, it gives advice what's beneficial for you as a sovereign identity, and not what is beneficial for the galaxy or the network you're using, because you're getting access for free, or want to use their game for free, or get communication for free. But what do you give in return? And that is what we're saying. Keep that most precious asset to yourself and use our products. You have to pay something because we have to have service that. But we say in the end, it's much cheaper that you pay a little fee for us or use the DGMV token, and you own that assets and you control that assets, than giving paying nothing and actually giving it all away. And that's what it's all about. It's about actually the biggest. We think there's going to be like a metaverse wars, and I think the wars is perhaps not the right word, but there will be battles of where you spend your time and who is owning your data. And that will be very big. And we say, do that in a secure, safe way. And most thing to start with is like the fundamental. If you build a house, it's nice that you can build all those fancy houses like gaming, NFT. I see them. And personally, I love them because I'm a great fan of them. Don't get me wrong. I love all those games. I love those NFTs. Mm-hmm. I'm actually loving everything about the crypto space. But you have to, if you're building something beautiful, please build the fundamentals strong so you know it's there for the long term. And that's what we're building. And Threefold, with their technology, have done that already for 6-7 years, done that on a very decentralized way. Mm-hmm. And now together with Digibyte, what we think is one of the best blockchains out there. I'm not saying it's the best because there are all the other also great projects out there. And I think that's very important. We're not saying we're going to do everything. We want to collaborate with people. That's one of our phrases, also stronger together. So that's why I hope that other projects will also embrace the decentralized metaverse and see that is very important, because the internet started as an open network. But Wijnand can tell more about that. But that is actually what we're doing. And we're building products on it to show that's possible. And also enterprises, because I'm a corporate guy, I come from that world, I'm very familiar with it. They also want to have control of the data. They also are being captured actually by big tech, and they cannot do what they want. So they have the same struggle we have as a consumer, Dave. So that's what's happening at the moment. And the metaverse is the next big frontier. You can compare it when the Europeans discovered America. A whole world of opportunity lies in front of us. But it's at the moment, it's the wild, wild west. Yeah, I don't have to tell you, Dave. It's wild out there in the metaverse, you know? So that's what's happening now.
So your technology, the DGMV token or the DGM technology, can it work in tandem with, say, Meta, Facebook's Meta? Can it work together, or does it compete against it?
If Facebook decides that they run data on our grid, it will become decentralized. So it can be competitive. But if you are in the metaverse, what at the moment I believe, because I have not read the business case, I only see the commercial, but there will be, of course, a thing. If you own your data and control your data and own your sovereign identity, and you go into that, you control it.
Maybe
Wijnand can comprehend on that.
But maybe another way to look at this, Dave. Right now, if you, again, we've got digital experiences, right? So that there's a phone that we all use. And if you have 100 apps, you probably have 100 identities. It's less because you use your, and we use your Google account on different services and so on, but it's more than one. I think that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah. And
that is currently on Web 2.0, which is web-based and is a 2D experience on the screen, almost like a book. I mean, in the end, it's relatively dull and boring. With the metaverse, this will go much bigger, 3D, interactive, and whatever. But there is a risk that the same thing happens, that you become a Facebook or a Meta customer with a Meta identity, where the data that you create on by interacting with others, by doing all the things that you do online in the metaverse, again, is being collected and stored inside a single silo. And then if and when you want to enjoy that other good metaverse experience that Decentraland is building, again, competition, as you said, requires you to have a different avatar and a different identity and a different bucket of data where you collect. I mean, those people are not planning to make that interchangeable, at least not that I've heard of, and the history has proven that they will not, right? So our play is more around, why not take an identity on a platform, on a metaverse, which is open, which allows experiences to be interactive. And again, if others accept the identity that you have on the Digi3 and the DigiCorp's Labs metaverse, then yes, by all means, please use it. The thing that it does protect, and which is really important, is that you almost have like your own personal digital island inside that metaverse sea of capacity, where your data stays yours. If you want to share it with Meta or with Decentraland, then by all means, but it's your choice from your little island or from your bucket of collected data to share it outwards to your friends. Could be photos, could be music, could be anything, or share it out to another metaverse experience, but not the other way around, where they collect it for you, where they hold it for you, and where they decide what to do with it, right? So it's turning the model upside down, putting you in charge of who you share your data with. And again, by all means, if you want to share it with Meta or with Decentraland, be our guest. I mean, we're not there to describe that.
So it puts the user in total control with this, right? So this is really the core function of, say, the DGMV token that you guys are going to be doing an IDO or ICO with. So with this token, I don't know if I hope I'm not jumping ahead or jumping around too much, but I'm trying to wrap my mind around all this too. So basically with your technology, that one person can have just one identity and can hop from one galaxy to another galaxy within the metaverse, and that one identity is secured. It's proven. The ID is proven. It's you. I'm talking to you, and not somebody that's pretending to be you. That's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, that's one of the aspects, because what we're actually doing more, and I think the great technology is that, and Wynet will tell about it. Threefold has developed the quantum safe data storage, and this is very important for the crypto people. But what we also do, and Rudy can tell more about it, we're building a new smart contract layer, what is ready for the metaverse, the Metaverse smart layer, on top of Digibyte. So it has all the great things Digibyte brings, and it's ready for the metaverse. And that is also being used. The DGMV token will be used as gas also for that. So what we're actually doing, and I'm not trying to be the sales guy, but you're actually getting a lot of buck for your DGMV. It is your sovereign identity. It will be used in our enterprise solutions. It will be the gas fee for the DGMV smart layer, and also for everything we will come out in our ecosystem. It will be used. We are also promoting Digibyte as a currency for that. You know, we think Digibyte has all the characteristics to be a people currency. You know, it's really decentralized, it's community-based, it's honest, it's open, it's transparent. Wouldn't that be great, Dave, if we pay with Digibytes in the metaverse as a base currency? Of course, there are also other currencies, but just like the dollar is at the moment the base currency in the fiat system, wouldn't that be awesome? You know, if we see Digibyte going to that. And I think And I think you, Dave, you also had that vision. That's why you're a strong believer in Digibyte, that it has all those great characteristics already built inside to that. So that's what we're also promoting. But I think, Rudy, perhaps you can tell about the DGMV smart layer, what it can do.
Yeah, well, you already explained a lot about it, but yeah, as Joshua mentioned, it will be programmed with a Solidity-based language, so people can create smart contracts, but also provide the compatibility for those who develop the contracts on Ethereum, so that it could be migrated to the Digibyte blockchain and therefore have the benefits, enjoy the benefits that the Digibyte blockchain is offering, meaning it's most secure, proof of work, of course, and it's also cheap. It's truly decentralized. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that development, and we hope to have that somewhere ready end of next year, Q3 or Q4.
End of next year. Okay. So Digibyte will have smart contract capabilities, and will it have an Ethereum bridge as well?
Yeah, there will be compatibility with Ethereum network. Okay. So it would be great if we could also port ERC20 tokens to the smart chain layer. That's the goal.
Okay. Okay, great. So it sounds like, so what you're saying is that, so the DGMV token will be the gas and Digibyte would be the currency. So they're going to have two different functions.
Yes, that's what we think, and that we will explore the technology of Digibyte again with also the Threefold technology in Digi3. That's very important to say so. Digi3 is a collaboration of Threefold and DigiCorp Labs. Threefold, but Wynand can tell you more about it. And I think the great thing is it, and that's what I also, when we started to have this conversation, we are no threat to nobody. We can work together with that. You know, we're not competing. We're actually believing that we can only make each other stronger. So other great projects, we can benefit from their technology. Example, Theta, where I'm a big fan of Theta because I think they're doing the right stuff. And also other technologies out there. And I think if we work together, because at the moment those are now at AWS, Google, they're storing their data. Wouldn't it be great if they store their data with us in a quantum secure way? And why not? Yeah, tell them perhaps a little bit about quantum safe storage, because this is really important for the crypto people. Because when the quantum computer comes, your crypto can be in danger, and that's what already Digi3 has a solution for.
Yeah, so today we've got that implemented for regular, straightforward storage. And the way we devise it, again, it's a long story, but I'll cut it very short, Dave. And then if and when there's interest, I'll send you some documents. Okay. The major point is that most storage solutions today are based on compression and encryption. And then they do different objects in different parts, and they do all sorts of things with it to make it reliable, which is true. But in the end, it's a part of the data, the original object, movie, file, music, doesn't really matter, that is compressed and encrypted and then stored on a physical device somewhere. But it's still a part of the original object, which means that if and when, I don't think it's an if anymore, but when quantum computers are mainstream enough to be able to be used for not so good purposes, that encryption and compression is no longer a valid means of protecting that data part. So that's a really big problem. And again, we store a lot of data, or the world stores a lot of data, and enterprises and other people need to store a lot of very precious data. So what we have devised, and this is again not something that the group that I worked with in the last 5 years did, but it's something that has been ongoing for more than a decade in that, and has resulted in a startup and an exit a long time ago, is that we take that compressed and encrypted data and don't store it, but we use it. Again, in the digital world, everything in the end is a number. It's a long string of ones and zeros, which you can look at as a number. We use that number, that string of ones and zeros, to create a mathematical system. And again, the simplest example, and here I go again, and you can cut this out when you publish it, but it's going to rely a little bit of your mathematical brain. But think of two numbers, 1 and 2, and think of representation of those two numbers with two variables, A and B. And then you can create with those two numbers two equations, A plus B, in this case, equals 3, and A minus B, in this case, equals -1. Now, if you throw away that A equals 1 and B equals 2, which is the compressed and encrypted data, if you just throw them away but store the equations, you still have, if you have both equations, there's only one solution to that particular mathematical system, which is A equals 1 and B equals 2. If you have one equation, there's a million solutions to it, because A plus B equals 3 can be done with A is -4 and B is +7, right? I mean, you can make up all those numbers and you've got a million solutions. So one part of the data no longer gets you the ability to reconstruct the original data part. So we store equations, we throw away the original data, and obviously we've devised a very smart way of doing it, which makes it zero proof and zero knowledge storage out there. And when quantum computing comes around the corner and becomes mainstream, your data is still protected, which is really, really important. And we'll use that same technology to start protecting digital currencies and other things that are currently happening in blockchain land. We've done it historically for IT purposes only, but the technology is there, the algorithm is there, the IP is there, and it's really exciting that we can now take this forward through Digi3, through DigiCorp lab to the Metaverse world.
That's great. You know, I talk about security quite a bit, not quite as deep as what you're talking about, Wyndon, but security is paramount. And a lot of people need to realize that, because a lot of people that get into crypto space, they want to know what the next 50x gem is, right? They want to know, they want to become a millionaire in 6 weeks. And I'm like, you know, you got to get your foundation down. You got to be able to secure your cryptos. If you make 50x gains and you put in $1,000 in a crypto, it goes at 50x, that's great. But if you lose it because of security issues, it doesn't mean anything at all. And the fact that you guys are already you're forward thinkers about the whole quantum computers, that you say it's going to be mainstream. What you think this decade? You think quantum computers are going to be available, or not mainstream, I guess, but.
No, but again, it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 that exist and that are falling in the wrong hands, right? That's the risk.
Gotcha.
We're not going to be on the shelf at Tesco in the next 10 years, no, but they're going to be around. People will have access to it, and will people start doing things with it? And that's where you need to be ready. And is it in the next decade? I think so.
And this stuff always seems to get in the wrong hands, though. It's just funny how that works, right? It always gets in the wrong hands, it seems like. But you know what? The reason why I've been attracted to Digibyte for so long is that I look at this kind of as a good guy, bad guy kind of thing, because we're always in a struggle. It seems like being in this universe, there's always some kind of battle going on. And I've always looked at Digibyte as like being the good guys. Okay, I'm not saying these other cryptos are bad, but you guys are like the grassroots, which I really, really like. I just, some people are impatient. Oh, Digibyte, why isn't going up, 50x like in the last couple of months? But I look at this thing as you guys are like the foundation of security, and that's what I've been saying for a long time with your 5 mining algos and everything else you got going on, and the fact that you had a fair launch of the token. I think you said 7 years ago. Digibyte's been around, and I just really been attracted to that grassroots part of it, because I really look at you guys as one of the good guys, and Theta as well, and some others too. This is not just a few companies or a few projects, but that's why I really like what you guys are doing. So I'm glad I got that out, because I felt like I needed to say that. So tell me, let's go over. So you've got the DGMV token. You've got you're going to be doing a launch on that, and can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, we can. We will have a public sale at the LCX exchange. There you can buy it, also with some launch pads that we will announce actually quite soon. The reason why we do it with LCX is because there is another benefit, because we are going to use this token for enterprises, and LCX is really regulated, and this is very important in the future. We think a lot of tokens are not regulated. We all know what that can be. We choose Liechtenstein because it has one of the best blockchains law out there, and we have a legal statement that we are a true utility, and this is very important. So that means that we can be used as a utility. That's why we are saying we're not a currency. Digibyte can be a currency. We are a true utility, and that's why also the whole process of listing is done in that way. So we have all the legal boundaries. We have done auditing by CertIC. We have a technical report also for evaluation. So we've done all the compliance that has to be done. And I think that makes it one of the unique cases, one of the first. I'm not knowing all of them, but that's also what we done, Dave.
If I may add something to that, indeed, that made us quite unique. Also, Dave, because we already started with this project back in 2020, we are fully self-funded. We started building the team, building the technology, getting everything in place also for the token, legal aspects. So now we're at the right spot for doing the ICO. And that's, I think, very different than many other ICOs that has a team that's maybe not really traceable sometimes, or just an idea on a white paper that they're trying to look funding for to get it materialized. We already have everything in place, but we want to get to the next level, and therefore we need, of course, some funding, and therefore we're also doing the ICO of our utility token. And if you look at the team, I think that's very magical. We have great tech people, we have best blockchain developers, and we have really strong corporate guys. So that mix, that really make us able to execute things. And I think that's very important.
Okay. Well, so you're going totally by the book, and so there's not going to be any regulatory issues down the road. So you guys are doing everything correctly. It sounds right. I mean, that's good. I mean, that's important because you don't want to get a rug pull. You know, we know what's happened to some other currencies. They get a rug pull from a regulatory body, and maybe it's legit rug pull or not. I don't know, but there has been. We know what's going on with certain projects, but it looks like, I mean, you guys are doing everything right, and that's really important because I don't want anybody, if they decide to go with your ICO and get some these tokens, and then later on they say, oh, okay, we've got some regulatory issues going on, and now suddenly people are unhappy. But it kind of reminds me of what you guys are doing with Digibyte too, because you guys like to have a solid foundation for security and blockchain, and you guys are doing it. It seemed like you're doing it correctly with LCX as well.
And also what you mentioned about the Digibyte culture, the core values. We found the same in Threefold. That's why the Digibyte Foundation got the partnership with Threefold back in 2018, 2019, I think. Because we are a great match. We share the same core values, and that's very important.
Yeah, I think it's a match made in the metaverse, Threefold and Digibyte technology with our own IP. It makes us really strong. That's why I have, we have together said it stronger together, but it doesn't mean that only Threefold, Digibyte, and DigiCorp. We hope everybody who believes in decentralization and wants to own their data and wants to have control of the sovereign identity will join us, because we think there will be an epic battle for having your data and where you spend your time. And people have not yet comprehended what will happen. And this battle is going on. It's no coincidence that Facebook changed the name into Meta. They know where the battle is going to be. Right. They know where the next challenge is. It's in the metaverse. And this is such a great thing. I know we are perhaps not the most sexiest project out there. We're not an NFT. We're not earned to play this. It's not a project do 100x. I know that. But what we are is just like in the gold rush, Dave, who in the end make the most money.
Yeah, people selling the tools.
Yes, and that's what we're doing. And what the great thing is about having tools, when the gold is gone, you can still use the tools to dig for sewage, or make roads, or make other things that are really strong. And that's the way California was built. It started with a gold rush. People flowing in, they selling the tools, and what do? They build houses, infrastructure. And there was developed California, where Silicon Valley was created. And that's why we're sitting here, and that's why we're having this discussion. So in the metaverse, it will be the same. Perhaps we will be forgotten in 100 years or 200 years, but maybe they all say, hey, DigiCorp Labs and the Metaverse, they created the tools where we're still using. And still DGMV will be around, because that's still one of the old tools that's being used to build the infrastructure, to build those most beautiful things. And this is, in my belief, and I think, that's why I also mentioned before, it's no coincidence that BitBoy, Roll Paul, guys with great visions, saying the metaverse is the next big thing. And all they're saying, Bitboy is saying, you have to have storage, new Web 3.0 combined with blockchain. We have that already in place. Paul is saying the metaverse is the evolution for mankind's new economy. It's no coincidence. And we share that vision. So that is very important. And I think your audience, and that's why I'm very happy that I'm on your show, they understand this. They understand that security and having something fundamental, digital, a real digital commodity, that's what we're hopefully providing. And that's our aim.
I may add something to that. You're talking about these great people with great vision, but I think it's very special that we as a team already saw the metaverse and talking about it in 2020, especially you, Joshua and Chantal. You already saw it in 2020 before even crypto space was talking about it, before Facebook was talking about it. So I see we have a team with a great vision as well.
Yeah, and Rudy, that comes, and I think Ryan can also add to that. I've been to Silicon Valley. I work for those companies. I heard those discussions, what the guys were talking. I know what's happening with artificial intelligence. I know about the data silos. Ryan can also tell about it. I know what will happen, and people don't know, but I'm a history nerd. I love everything about history, you know, and it's all about cycles. This is not coincidence. This is a cycle for mankind. This is an evolution, and we're going to a next phase. And people think just now gaming, NFT, yeah, that's nice, but it is the same thing when the electricity was invented. And I compare it with the battle of Tesla and Edison. And we all know who won: centralization, Edison, backing by the banking cartel. We all know that. We all know that. Tesla lost. It's nice that his name now is on a car, but we also have forgotten what Tesla's vision actually was. Decentralization of electricity. We have forgotten that. Now we're driving in Teslas. Nice to have so, but his real vision is not there. So Elon Musk, if he really would back Tesla, what he's saying with his car, he would back our project. And he wants to have decentralization of data and of things. That is the real Tesla vision, and not the Edison vision.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Everybody has forgotten that. But that's what it's all about. Dave, this is a time where you have to show your true colors. On which side are you? Do you want centralization? And we say that's also great because it has a lot of advantages. It has also disadvantages, but also, so the other side, it's up to mankind. And that's what I say, it's a choice. So people have the choice where they spend their time. Do that in a centralized way or a decentralized way. It's up to us. We're not gonna say where you have to do it, but at least we give you a choice, and hopefully with the right technology on board.
That's really powerful what you said there. You know that was great. Thank you. What was really interesting is that this is kind of like the gold rush, like you said about the California gold rush. This is all over again. History repeats over and over and over and over again. Okay, so we're not going after gold anymore. We're going after we're trying to have decentralization. It's really a battle against centralization and decentralization. I've said that before in my videos, and we're trying to really win that battle. At least people that are aware of this whole, centralization can be really harmful to some people and to humanity as a whole. And this really is a battle for that. And I liked your analogy about being the gold rush in California, and you guys are the tools for the gold rush. And I thought that was really, really interesting what you said there.
Yeah, I think so. And Ryan, I think also tell more about how we're going to do that with decentralization, how people can also contribute to that, because I think that makes it very powerful, because we are not powerless. I think we have more power as a people. And I really think we're all as citizens from the metaverse, and that will lift us all. It doesn't matter where you're from. And I always make the joke, if an alien comes along, he is also welcome, because everybody is welcome in the metaverse, even aliens, It's not only for Earth. If you're a friendly alien, we welcome you in the metaverse. And I see great avatars that look like aliens, so they could be already around us. So that, who knows, Dave,
True. Again, centralization as we know it today, and again, I ran around data centers with screwdrivers in the late 80s, early 90s, building them. And they become monsters of complexity very quickly. And the ones that we have right now, the ones that are 2, 3, 4 soccer fields sized, are monsters of complexity. They're very hard to maintain and manage. They require a lot of knowledge and a lot of power and a lot of everything, a lot of capital. And that is just in itself an unsustainable growth. Because again, if we think about how much more data we create, all of us, on a daily basis by having the latest iPhone or the latest Android phone, and the cameras go berserk and the sizes of the pictures grow like crazy. I mean, we need more of those. And I don't think, and we don't think in general, that again, fast forwarding to Metaverse, fast forwarding to even richer experiences, that you can deliver that out of those massive data centers. And the way that we see today, those people are building it, is take the foundations of those data centers and then build on top of them. While we're saying those foundations are not solid enough and cannot carry the load that will be generated by this metaverse and this explosion, even double or even quadratic, if that's a proper English word, of doing it. Therefore, decentralization on the lowest levels, the actual infrastructure is needed. We need to be able to generate compute, storage, and networking everywhere, because we're going to have experiences with digital experiences with friends around us. Why do we travel, or we let the data travel thousands of kilometers back and forth to have a digital experience with a friend that is 2 blocks away? That's almost like a ridiculous thought. If you think about electricity and back to what Joshua said, have it being produced in Europe and then consume it in the US, everybody would laugh at you if that was your idea. But on the digital space, or in the digital space, we're doing that today, and we're just letting it go. And we're just saying, okay, that's the way it is, and that's the way we do it. We say, no, we have to do something about that. We have to give the ability, and that's where the complexity also comes in, because you cannot rely on non-technicians to start building compute processing and storage capabilities with the technology that is there today, because it's too complex. You would be in courses for a year before you would be able to do anything, right? So it needs to be super simple, almost like plug and play. Have a box, connect it to electricity, connect it to your home network, and off you go. You have built a part of the metaverse. And again, Digi3, the combined effort between Digibyte and Threefold technology, we've created that. Everybody can now be part of that initiative, can build towards a decentralized future where, again, your data, as we said earlier, will be yours, will live somewhere where you decide it lives, and everybody can be a producer of capacity and a consumer of capacity. And I think that's really important, because I don't believe, honestly, that doing it in a centralized way and growing it exponentially is going to survive. I mean, it's just not.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, why don't talk about more about your ICO? How does that work, and how many tokens are there, and what's the cost? If you want to go over any of that stuff, go ahead and tell the audience about your ICO. I think you said it's coming up in really soon. I think you said maybe a week.
Yeah, it's coming. It's starting the 11th of December. Rudy, you can you're the our chief blockchain operation officer. So please, you can fill it in today to him.
Yeah, sure. We have created 1 billion tokens, and we have currently a private sale running. That's for the strategic investors like VCs and the key opinion leaders. And in the private sale, we're selling 9% of the tokens, but they're all subject to vesting. The public sale will be 5% of the total supply, and there will 3 rounds of sales. And the first one start the 11th of December. And there will be 5% of the tokens. And also these tokens are subject to vesting. I need to get
we have round B. We have round B. Really, to add to that, we have round B coming up. We have round A. That's the longer vesting. That's 21 cents, Dave.
Yeah.
Then we have round B. That is a shorter term of vesting, and that's 30 cents. And then we have a small portion of unlocked, and that will be on the 21st of December, together with our Metaverse live event, what we're gonna host. and that is 36 cents. And that is unlocked, and that's a very small portion. That's how we do it. And you have to register it on LCX to comply. We also will use some Launchpad, but we will give that information in our Twitter and our website. So it's really around the corner, ICO. And we have capped it to $10,000 US. Why? We also want large people to buy in it. So we don't want to have we give the opportunity really that everybody can buy in it and can participate. Right. And if you want to buy more, that's also doable. But then, of course, you have to be strategic. And we're very lucky that the people who invest strategically see our vision and share our vision. And some of them are people who are normally not into crypto, but they say, hey, this makes sense. This is just like a real investment. And I think I'm very proud of that, actually, to be honest. Now, I also want to say is that we also have those 5 business products launching. And one of the products we have not mentioned, but where I'm a very big fan of, is our peer-to-peer communication. We have developed Digi3 with Threefold technology that we have like a Zoom or a team call with no one in the middle. So you know it's really secure. So all our business products we bring out of, and I would suggest people, because we have 5 great products, please watch our Digi3 website and you can see how amazing they are. That you have like communication that there's no money in the middle. Why not? Perhaps you can tell a little bit how did the technology work, because I think that's also awesome.
Well, in the end, yes. So it starts with a digital sovereign identity and this island in a digital sea of capacity that is being controlled by you and you only. And then you can be an individual, a department, an enterprise, doesn't really matter. And that is a very difficult step to create. That, again, nobody else except you with your sovereign identity can access to it. But if you then think of that island as the starting point of actually starting to create all of the services that we use every day, video conferencing, chat, email. I mean, in the end, it's sending bits and bytes, data, digital, from one place to another. If you invite, like you do in your home, people to come and connect to your island and talk to you, communicate to you, again, whether it's a Metaverse experience or whether it's a standard Web 2.0 today video conferencing experience, it's a piece of software which runs in a sovereign digital space that is you, and you invite your friends, your colleagues, your partners to actually come and connect to you there. You have no third party in the middle, because that digital island is yours, and that's what the sovereign identity does. And that capacity that it runs on, as I said earlier, Dave, is one of those locations, one of those devices by people for people that you select and contract with smart contracts to use as a capacity generator for your compute and storage capacity. So there is literally no third party involved that actually sits in the middle and is the proxy for services that are being created. And this we can repeat over and over and over for all the known experiences that we have, because we've got that foundation done of being able to create that little digital island that is yours. And that's a beautiful starting point.
That's great. Tell me more about this live Metaverse event you've got coming up.
Yeah, Dave. It's a surprise, and we will invite people, and you can invite if you join our social media. It's on our Twitter. We think it's going to be amazing. We're working on it. Hopefully, it's very new. I will have to say that. So. It's the first time it's being used, so there can be something not working, but we have the guts to go out there. I think you sometimes just have the guts to do it. Otherwise, it will always be in the garage testing. We think now we will go out there and together with our partners who help building that. I think it's a big compliment to Grow and also Equinox, where we're going to launch. That's our launch pad. They're also really doing a great job to establish that. So they are helping us. And also, I think we have also great advisors from Paid also helping us all the way. So all those guys are really supporting us. And they were all came on board for our vision. So that is, I think, very strong. And another thing, Dave, and I know it sounds a little bit almost not to be true, We also have upcoming an avatar project with our partner Republica, and it's like avatars that look really like human beings. Check out our website, you can see Republica. They have like avatars that look like human beings, because we also envision that avatars that are just look like human beings will be in the future influencers, social media. We think that they will have more power than human beings. You know, in the future, your clothing is being showed by a digital avatar with holograms. This is going to happen in the metaverse, and we have foreseen it. And also, avatars will be used in business. So this is also why it's so important to have this fundamental layer in place. But if I'm saying this, hopefully you can see what value we bring with the DGMV token. It is. I think if you see what we're doing and what we're bringing for the value, and we have already built the technology, and Threefold has done that for a long time, and Digi3, that I think I'll invite everybody to join it, and hopefully they can earn the DGMV, because we think it will be one of the most precious assets in the metaverse to hold.
That's a powerful statement, and I hope that's true. I mean, your enthusiasm and your conviction, I'm convinced. I think that you guys are onto something for sure. And if you're saying that this is going to be one of the most sought after tools to have in the metaverse, I mean, you've got my attention. So I hope the audience feels the same way.
And what we think is we're going to rock the boat for Digibyte. Digibyte has been a sleeper well. I'm a great fan of Digibyte. I'm an early investor, just like you, Dave. I watched your videos 4 years ago, and you always were supporting Digibyte. And I know a lot of people, the price didn't went up or didn't up. We're talking to people, VCs, and they see, wow, Digibyte, what great. And I think now how cool and good the technology and the security aspect of Digibyte, what you also mentioned, that it will give a great boost only to not only the DGMV token, but also to the Digibyte coin, because Digibyte is a coin and we are a token. And I think people really, in your space, they know, but the difference between a token and a coin is very large, and people sometimes don't know the difference. But if you do, you understand that the UTX blockchains, and there are not many around, they're very powerful.
Also from a legal perspective, of course, they are not a security. They can never be considered to be a security. So that's very powerful as well. There are just a few, and Digibyte is one of them that will survive all the pressures we are facing on legal perspective.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm excited about this, and I will no doubt participate. And if I hope the viewers realize that you guys are selling the tools for the gold mining, and I think that everybody knows that analogy about the people that having the tools was the most powerful thing, or the people that sold the tools. And if you guys have the tools for that can be used for many things, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, however long it is, then that's just really powerful. So, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, and by the way, while I'm thinking about this, I didn't say this earlier, this is not a paid promotion. I'm not getting any.
No.
I'm not getting any tokens or anything out of this. I'm not getting paid. I'm doing this because I want to do it. And this is the way I like to do stuff for the most part. I'm just, if I see something that really excites me and I feel it's going to change the world, and I know change the world is used all the time. I hate saying that, but if I feel this is going to tip our battle towards decentralization from centralization, I'm all over it. And this is why I wanted to do this interview with you guys. And I wish you guys the best of luck with your ICO, and I hope it does extremely well. And I will definitely, I'll do my part to support it. And good luck to you guys.
And Dave, we're honored and to have you on board. And I know from a long time that you are very genuine and you give good advice to all the people. And I think what you're saying to them is actually golden. Security, having possession of your cryptos in your own space, that is essential. And that's all the time you're saying. Doesn't matter which project you have. If you don't own your private key, you don't own your cryptos. And I think you have said that many times, and people really have to understand that. And I appreciate you for that. So thank you for having us here. And I I'm looking forward to the collaboration in the future. So thank you, Dave.
Well, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Any last words before we sign off?
That's for Wynand and Rudy.
Oh, no, I really appreciate your support and giving us the ability to explain the project, because what we are doing is not quite sexy in the metaverse maybe, but very essential, and it's sometimes difficult to deliver the message. So I hope, especially with Wynand and from a technical perspective, that it now makes more sense for people what we're doing. And so yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to talking with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're very welcome. Well, guys, well, thank you as well for spending an hour here on this call, and I'll have all the links below the video for the if you guys want to participate in the ICO, if you want to check out their Twitter and the website, everything else, all the links will be below this video. So, all right, this is Digital Dave. That's all I got. I'll see you guys next time.